What makes I Am so special is there's a story behind it, and I know, because it's my story. I wrote it. I'm the founder and author of I Am Curriculum and Course, and I Am began really when I was a little girl. I grew up in an abusive home where there was lots of domestic violence, lots of physical abuse, and chaos seemed to be the norm and the way all emotions were expressed, good or bad. It caused me to look for love in a lot of the wrong places. I found myself pregnant at the age of 18, and by the time I was 20, I had 2 kids from a guy who didn't love me, was young and selfish, and couldn't give me what I needed. He cheated quite a bit and ended up marrying somebody just 2 months after we broke up. 3 years later, I ended up in a situation, again, more bad decisions, pursuing relationships that weren't good for me, and I ended up in a situation where I was pressured and coerced into sex and ended up pregnant with my son, which, after having already 2 children, was terrifying. And so I considered abortion, I considered adoption. In fact, I had even picked out somebody that I thought would be a better parent than me. I considered suicide. I considered every way out that you can think of until God intervened and stepped in and told me that I had a purpose and my son had a purpose and I needed to keep going. So I decided to go to college, which I thought was going to transform my life and put me in a different trajectory. So I ended up meeting a guy in college who I assumed had to be good for me because he was a student just like me. But that resulted in 6 years of domestic violence. I almost lost my kids to CPS. I lost the respect of most of my family and my friends, and ultimately lost a piece of me. It broke every part of my soul, and to be honest, even to this day, I'm still trying to recover from the words that were spoken over me during that relationship. It's not easy. Things still come up. There's still insecurities. It's a long road. But I did finish school. I got my bachelor's in social science. I went on to get my master's degree in clinical counseling, marriage and family therapy. I did 3,000 hours of internship hours and took an 8-hour exam just to become a licensed therapist. I've worked in a lot of different clinics providing therapy to youth and families and individuals, both in private practice and in a clinical setting. Now I work for a school district, helping develop programs and getting mental health supports to our general education students. I travel all over the United States teaching workshops on trauma-informed care and how to build mental health programs and just teaching basics of mental health. I vice chair the Behavioral Health Commission. And all of these things happened because of a healing process that I went through. I had to really look at myself and look at the pain, and I had to let God show me who He said that I was. So I began using the techniques I used in college, learning therapy techniques, and combine them with what Word of God had to say about me, scriptures that I found. And so I basically took every lesson and every breakthrough that I went through to get me to the path that I'm at now, and I wrote it into a lesson. And so it's up to 11 lessons now, each one bringing a different truth, each one bringing more freedom and more breakthrough, each one bringing healing. And so it just formed a curriculum, and I've used it to teach other women how to find their own freedom, how to break through from the pain and discover a purpose. And it's had really great results. I have a lot of testimonials. A lot of people are fanatics about the curriculum, and I'd have to say that I am too, because it's what changed my life. It's what brought me from dysfunction to destiny, from pain to purpose, from trial to triumph, from victim to victory. And I believe it'll do the same for you too. I hope you sign up.